What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today let's get started with Francis Ngannou's potential next move after the UFC. Following an action-packed night of fights at the UFC Apex, UFC President Dana White informed media members that the UFC was releasing heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. According to White, the promotion offered the Predator a contract that would make him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the division. However, he wasn't interested. At the same time, White announced a title fight between former pound-for-pound kingpin Jon Jones and former interim heavyweight champion Ciryl Gane for UFC 285 in Las Vegas to determine who will succeed Ngannou as champion.
Been working on a new agreement with Francis for like 2 years now, and we had gotten to a point where he was going to fight Jon Jones, and many who believe, including me, that he's the best of all time, for the heavyweight championship. And Jon Jones has been willing and ready and able to fight anybody. He didn't care who it was. Could have been anybody in the heavyweight division. He was ready to go.
So far, there's been no official word on what the former heavyweight champ's next move will be. Recently, Ngannou posted a photo on Instagram that featured a PFL shirt clear as day in the background, leading many to think that the Predator could enroll in the promotion's $1 million tournament. At the same time, BKFC president David Feldman revealed that the promotion plans to offer Ngannou an offer to compete in their heavyweight division. With plenty of options available to him, it'll be interesting to see what his next move is. What do you think Ngannou will do next? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. What's next for Sean Strickland after win over Nassourdine Imavov? Saturday night, Sean Strickland picked up a big win over Nassourdine Imavov to snap a 2-fight skid. After Kelvin Gastelum dropped out of the fight on short notice, Strickland stepped in and earned a unanimous decision win less than a month after his split decision loss to Jared Cannonier. With the win over the number 12 ranked Imavov, Strickland will likely hold on to his number 7 spot in the UFC's official rankings. With plenty of time left in the year, the brash middleweight has a couple of exciting matchups on the horizon that could come to fruition. Just ahead of him on the rankings is Paulo Costa, who has 1 fight left on his contract. Strickland has recently been incredibly outspoken against Costa in his pursuit of more money, sparking a rivalry between the pair. Although Costa backed out of his upcoming fight with Robert Whittaker, he admits that he knows he'll likely have to fight out the remaining bout on his contract before hitting free agency. Given Strickland's recent trash talk and their standings in the rankings, a fight makes sense for both of them. Who do you want to see Strickland fight next? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Nate Diaz calls out Jake Paul's two-faced dad. With Nate Diaz being a free agent, many are wondering what the future will hold for the Stockton superstar. One of the potential options is a boxing match with Jake Paul. Although Diaz has shown no indication that he's interested in boxing Paul, and he told Dana White he wouldn't entertain the controversial YouTuber. Talk of a fight has continued to surface. After it was announced that Paul had signed with the PFL, he offered Diaz a 2-fight deal that would see the pair box and compete in MMA. This week, Diaz took to Twitter to take a shot at Paul's dad for some pretty blatant two-faced behavior, saying, "The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree."
Hey, I'm Jake Paul's dad. Dude, I admire the fuck out of you. And I love the way you fight, everything about you, and hopefully you're going to be fighting Jake. Dude, I just wanted to tell you, we watch you, and I love your fight style, your dog attitude.
Jake will knock the out of Nate Diaz.
What?
But he will knock the out of Nate Diaz. Cap. Nate Diaz is a punk. He's a punk. His record is mediocre.
Do you think we'll ever see these two compete against one another? Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Dana White justifies lack of punishment after New Year's Eve incident. When footage emerged of UFC President Dana White slapping his wife, many began to call for the UFC president's job. At the same time, media outlets like ESPN were being accused of taking it easy on the company frontman, with one ESPN reporter going on record as saying that the network told employees not to make any incendiary remarks about White. Amid calls for his job, White spoke to media members prior to UFC Vegas 67 this past weekend in order to address the situation and reveal that suspending him from his duties as UFC president wouldn't be a punishment. As he explained, the promotion, the fighters, and the UFC's employees would all suffer if he was suspended as a result of the situation. At the same time, he shot down talk of a punishment, saying that the true punishment was knowing that he would forever be labeled as a domestic abuser. The comments didn't sit too well with many, who felt as though he deserved some sort of repercussion in his professional life. Following the event on Saturday, he spoke to media members to fire back at the criticism, justifying his lack of a punishment from the company by saying that a punishment in his professional life is pointless when his personal life is the only thing that matters. Do you think he deserves a suspension? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Ciryl Adesanya debuts new neck and face tattoo. Former UFC middleweight champion Ciryl Adesanya recently showed off some new ink on social media, revealing a pair of tattoos he got ahead of his inevitable rematch with Alex Pereira this year for the 185-pound title. Based on his recent posts, it seems as though Adesanya got a tattoo of a bird on his neck and writing of some kind above his left eyebrow. The Last Stylebender captioned footage of him getting the script tattoo with, "The old version of you must die before you come alive," a phrase that many took to be in reference to his upcoming rematch with Pereira. So far, no word on when the two men will compete again. According to the former champion, he wants the next fight between the two to be a bloodbath. Speaking in a video on his YouTube channel late last year, he expressed excitement about the rematch while vowing to bloody the champion en route to a victory. When the two men finally square off, who do you think gets the job done? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Jake Shields says Nick Diaz is training every day amid return rumors. Prior to Nick Diaz's return fight against Robbie Lawler back in 2021, the former Strikeforce welterweight champion appeared to be in great shape. When fight week rolled around, however, Diaz seemed both unhappy and horribly out of shape compared to photos that had surfaced weeks before. After the two men agreed to meet at middleweight, Diaz stepped into the octagon and showed flashes of brilliance as he gave fans momentary glimpses at the fighter he once was. Unfortunately, he just couldn't put things together and ultimately wound up losing the fight in the third round. After the bout, many expected Diaz to retire, but he remained in the USADA testing pool and underwent surgery to repair discs in his neck. According to his longtime teammate Jake Shields, Diaz is back in the gym training every day. He spoke in an interview with Helen Yee to discuss the situation, saying,
"I know he's been actually out here training again, which was good because, he wasn't really, I think it's kind of public, known they didn't really train for the last camp. So he's back out here, not training like crazy hard, but the fact that he's back in the gym, wanting to work out every day in a much better headspace mentally than he had been the last couple of years. So it's great seeing Nick, he's like a brother to me. I've known him for, I think, over 20 years now. So it's great seeing him doing a lot better. And I know, all the fans want to see him fight again, so that'd be great to see a Nick Diaz come back, but with a proper training camp."
This comes on the heels of Shields saying in December that he thinks Diaz will return in 2023. With no shortage of potential opponents when Diaz returns to the octagon, we want to hear from you. Who do you think he should fight if he returns in 2023? And now for our breaking news story of the day.
All this white stuff around here, that's all fluid. So that's what the swelling is. Now when we look at your ligament that joins from your fibula, which is this bone, you've probably got what we call a grade 2 injury to that.
Ciryl Gane thinks people are underestimating his wrestling. After the UFC announced the heavyweight title fight between Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane, fans began to predict that Jones' wrestling would be the X factor in this fight. With Gane recently struggling in grappling exchanges with Francis Ngannou, many believe it will be more of the same when the former interim heavyweight champion fights Jones. Despite that, Gane believes that won't be the case. Following an action-packed night of fights at the UFC Apex on Saturday, he spoke to media members to discuss the bout, saying,
I think he just wants to win his fight against me. And I don't know what is a good way for win against me. Yes, because some people like to say my wrestling game is not good because of the fight of Francis with Francis. But this is not the truth. I was not focused on it, just that. It was just that. I'm well rounded too, so now I can imagine more like a fight. We're gonna stay on the feet, and maybe we're gonna try sometime to go down. Yeah.
After Gane lost his UFC 270 title unification fight with Francis Ngannou, the former interim champion's head coach revealed that two Dagestani heavyweights were going to be helping Gane with his wrestling. In his most recent fight, Gane had little opportunity to show off his grappling against Tai Tuivasa, as the two men engaged in a striking affair for the majority of their fight in Paris back in September. Opening odds for the fight had Gane as a slight favorite at -120, while Jones was a slight underdog at +100. At the time of publication, FanDuel has the fight as a pick'em, with both men sitting at -108 on the sportsbook. With just one loss on his professional career, do you think Gane will be able to defeat Jon Jones and claim UFC gold? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to see more videos just like this. See you next time.